Hello everybody, this is Simon with the 8th episode of Let's Play Mega Man 6. Only our four-legged friend remaining and we're in for an interesting level. I think it's a really good illustration of my relationship to this game. It's pretty decent, but I still don't like playing it at all, personally. More on that as it progresses. First of all, it's a water level, which is maybe strange for a Centaur man, but let's just roll with it. Night Crush, not Crusher, is a very good weapon. The arc it returns with is again pretty damn strange, but the way it's fired out is very self-explanatory. And as it behaves more or less like Shadow Blades, which were pretty damn good, as you might remember. Yeah, this is the purpose of those guys, by the way. It's a really good weapon. No, I'm not waiting for this guy. As said, it would be the best weapon in this game if Flame Blast didn't deal so much damage. Kind of a tricky jump, but that's what shields are for. So yeah, we're underwater now, and contrary to some other levels in this game, this one here, a bit closer, is actually very consistent with its theme, which I greatly appreciate. The palette is not atrocious, this is going to change later on, but anyway, those jumps here are kind of annoying, in my opinion. I just don't like hitting my head and dying instantly, but it's fair game, it's okay. Sadly, more or less, I got a weapon that completely and utterly obliterates this part, but other than that, it would be quite fine. So what's the major gripe with it? Well, we're going to see once we hit the real meat of the level, this here. This section is amazing. It's probably one of the best designed ones in the whole game. So you see the water here, the physics, it works. The enemies also abuse the water physics, which is genius. And it's got right terrain and everything. So what is my problem with it? Well, remember Dive Man's level in Mega Man 4? It had a similar gimmick, that is, water that moved upwards and downwards, and it was chock full of enemies. There were never less than 3 enemies on the screen at the same time, most of the time. Stingrays and jellyfish and spikes and mines and everything. It was really crowded and you never had any chance to pause. It was action-packed. You had to always be on the lookout for enemies coming from behind if you turned around even once and coming from the front. Everywhere enemies. And this had 3 static enemies and nothing more. It's just such a wasted opportunity. It could have been a really cool section. And then you have to use the gimmick for exactly 1 jump. See where I'm getting at with that? I just think it's really boring. And it could have been so much more, and there has been so much more done with it. Well, and the rest of this is, well, pretty standard fare. I didn't even feel the need to comment on it, even though the suicidal jellyfish are hilarious. We're going to see more of the submarines later, because they're also kind of a cool enemy. Just a little glimpse of them, I mean. And this guy again. What's he doing here? We already fought 2 of you on Blizzard Man stage. Go fuck yourself. So, this is the end of the level. Rest assured that the fake boss door is just at the end of this drop, so I'm not going to show you this single screen. With this palette though. I got you covered, don't worry. For now we're in for a boss fight, and this boss is actually kind of an ass, even though he's probably not donkey based. Centaur Man is definitely the hardest boss in this game to bust at you, otherwise you can just damage race him. But he can be a prick in all ways. Jumping over him I always found quite difficult, but it's consistent enough. The bullet, you'd think, is easily dodged by just standing there, but he got a time freeze attack. Now this is almost as annoying as when Brightman does it. However, there is one thing that makes this fight infinitely better than Brightman, that is, you can control where you stand when he does it, and if you stand in the middle of the room, unless he blocks that, you're completely safe. So you should not do what I'm doing right now. I'm just doing this to show off how difficult it can really be. Like, you have to get into the center of the room, center of the room, quickly, in order to not get hit. And to do that, you have to lure him to a certain position where he's going to appear. This is kind of tricky. It's not something I really like, because position-based combat and thinking ahead 3 steps is... I prefer the action-packed, reflex-based fight, but it's certainly not bad. Definitely not bad. So, we're done with all the letters. But you also know that the palette has changed, and I'm going to show it to you in a few seconds. There we go. And it's hideous again. Yeah, just not a big a fan of the salmon color, whatever you'd call it. You know, I said it was strange that they changed the whole palette for a level, but I really like that. It's just strange that it is so inconsistent, you know? Here, by the way, they cannot reach you up here. That's kind of cute how they fly, how they swim in the bottom, completely ineffectually. But anyway, this was Simon with Let's Play Mega Man 6, and thank you very much for your attention.